Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Apex Greatness. I am your host, Russell Broderick. This way, you gotta go. Yeah, there you go. It's Dario Albuquerque. Got it on the money. You were like, oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
You were like, I know. You were like, in my heart, I want to go this way, but I know it won't be right, so I'm switching.
I saw where you went, and that's how I flipped it. Flipped the
This is Apex Greatness. What's going on, guys? Or what's going on, just you? How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing all right. Just
I am ready for this weekend. You were just talking to me about how you felt like this was the perfect setup for championship weekend. Like you're very happy with the outcome.
Yeah. I think like who would have wanted to see Cleveland versus the Bills or Cleveland versus the Ravens or the Saints versus the Rams? You know, like
that's the one. Oh man, if it was Saints Rams, that would be the one I would be the most disappointed.
Oh, yeah, but that would have been a rematch too. I didn't even think about that.
No, fuck that. It would have been disappointing. And the Rams making it any farther would have just been extremely disappointing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have minded seeing the Browns get a little farther, but they had to take the L to Kansas City.
Because like in reality, like if you look at it, and I think this might have been the first, maybe one of the first years this happened, but like the four out of the top 5 quarterbacks this year,
yeah,
are in the championship. So that's pretty dope.
I agree. They almost all of our nominees for MVP.
Yeah,
you can check that out in our archives. They came out earlier this week.
Yeah, it'll float up somewhere, I'm sure.
But we should start with the NFC.
Yeah,
we have 2 games that happened.
I got a quick question: who do you think is the worst quarterback right now in that's still in the tournament?
That's a really good question.
Who do you?
It just depends on what you think. That's fuck. I think that it's probably Tom Brady. Isn't that a crazy world?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. But I agree with you. That's what I had too.
But at any moment, Tom Brady could be the best quarterback out of these 4, if for one game.
Yeah, and that the craziest part with Brady is he has 2 more games, and he's done. He's good for the next whatever months, and you could totally see him just saying, "I'm gonna go into God mode for these last 2 games and just flip this shit and just make sure." But at least the last few games, at least the 2 playoff games, Brady looked pretty mediocre.
Yeah, I mean he was 18 for 33, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns. They just had a really good game plan. Well, their defense did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
You know what
if their defense comes like that again, then it's gonna be trouble. I just don't see Aaron Rodgers throwing all those picks that Breeze threw, and I don't see Aaron Rodgers repeating what he did against them in Week 6.
Aaron Rodgers 35.4 quarterback rating, easily his worst of the season for the MVP.
Yeah.
Just a terrible game. I think he threw a pick 6 in this game. We're gonna see it here in the highlights, I'm sure.
And this was the thing that I was clinging on to when I was making my Patrick Mahomes case. Is Mahomes didn't have anything like this? But it's not about how you start; it's about how you finish. So.
And he finished 48. This is what I'm saying: 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. 2 of those interceptions came in this game.
Yeah, exactly.
And he got no touchdowns throwing the ball. It was really a beatdown. He looked good for a little bit, and then he threw that pick 6. Did that start the half or that? Where was that? We're gonna find that.
A half? No, that it was in the second quarter.
just easily Aaron Rodgers' worst game of the season. And Adams was, I think he had like 6 catches, obviously no touchdowns, only 60 some odd yards.
Yeah.
This play was going to Adams, but yeah, like you said, this flipped the game. Top of the second quarter. Totally flips the game. Huge pick 6. So you're saying you don't think this happens in Green Bay?
Oh, absolutely not. For one, and I told you this off mic, but I need to say this again because Aaron Rodgers, I'm starting to become a fan. I'm not gonna lie. So on his weekly radio thing with Pat McAfee,
I did not spell Lambo right. But continue.
I've never heard someone so confident about like he is like. If you did you listen to the whole interview?
Yeah, I listen to it every week. It's just good insight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he I love the way he breaks down each of his plays and stuff, and what was going through his mind, and he makes it like there's like thousands of things going through his mind in like the 5 seconds he has to fucking throw the ball, which is so it just shows like his IQ is insane. But
it's what makes him the man he is.
Yeah, exactly. And I've never seen someone so confident in like he's like I finally got my chance at a championship game in Lambeau.
Yep.
And going to the Super Bowl. Pretty much that's what he was just like, I don't know if he didn't say it in that same way, but it was pretty much like if you like heard his confidence and the way he was talking, he was like, we're going to the Super Bowl pretty much.
Flurries expected Sunday at 3:00 in Lambeau Field. If that's the case, that team that has spent all season, obviously in Florida.
Yep.
I mean, they do have a lot of guys that only have played there for one season, but still.
And for those people who are just yelling at the screen right now and saying, well, Tom Brady played in Foxborough his whole career, and that's Tom Brady.
Listen to me about Tom Brady, though. When you're old, and your fucking bones when it's cold in the morning and you can feel your bones lock up, right? And then you gotta go outdoors, not in Florida, but in fucking Wisconsin, where there's Lambeau Field, and then apparently there's a sledding facility right behind the fucking stadium because they know 2 things are gonna happen. Number 1, they're gonna get tourists if the Packers are good, and then number 2, there's gonna be snow and it's gonna be shitty weather.
Yeah. So and the real feel is gonna be 24. And is there like a wind chill or no?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Because usually that brings if it's anything like Oswego, New York, for all of our Oswegonians, if it's anything like Oswego, I'm sure it's gonna feel like shit because I remember
winds of 8 miles an hour. It's not very windy, not super strong winds.
Just to give a little backstory on what it's like to be this cold. It has nothing to do with football, but it's fun for you guys to listen to. I went to Oswego for a winter and had to freaking walk 10 minutes down the street to get food, and it was so cold. I think it was supposed to be I don't know, like 10 degrees or some shit like that. But because of the wind that came right off the lake, it made it like -5 degrees, wind chill or whatever. And I just wouldn't eat. And I'm fat. And I wouldn't go and eat because I was like, fuck this. I'd rather starve than be this cold. So I'm sure that it would suck to play football in that kind of weather.
And the one time it did snow in Lambeau Field that we were able to see on the air was when they played the Titans, and everyone thought Derrick Henry was going to run it all over the place, and he didn't do a goddamn thing.
Yeah, facts.
Let's see if I can
we were on the talking about that, and we thought it was going to be Derrick Henry day. He was going to go crazy,
and Devontae Adams still exploded. Aaron Rodgers still did his thing. So even in this weather, I'm not super nervous about what the Packers can do. It's going to be really about whether Tom Brady, when he feels that cold, whether his bones lock up in the cold or whether he comes out loose ready to go, ready to play. I don't know if he's capable of loosening up to that extent at this age. It's what he's famous for, pliability. Fucking, but we'll see. I'm taking the Packers 100%.
Oh yeah, 1,000. And this was my pick anyway, so I was gonna. I had to go with my take. It was keep my take integrity, But but what was I gonna say? I was gonna say for it's not just about to me it's not about Brady. It's more about those receivers. Mike Evans is he still injured?
I don't think so. He might be on the report. I'll check the report.
He probably is still playing. I know AB's out, and Chris Godwin.
AB is out. AB's not playing.
Yeah, and
wow.
Oh, did you not?
Yeah, battling with a knee injury.
Yeah,
the remains to be seen. I saw he was on the injury report, but it says he's questionable right now. But he's been updated to out. That was as of the night. That was as of a few days ago.
Yeah, Bruce Arians announced him out this morning.
Fuck.
And but I mean, I don't know if that really hurts him that much because he really does like throwing at Scotty Miller and that Johnson kid too. But what's this dude? Chris Godwin. I don't know what the fuck. Is he a choke artist? Over the last 2 games, he's had 6 drops. I don't even know if he's had 6 drops this whole year. You know what I mean? Is he choking? Is he scared of the pressure?
I don't know. I also think on that team, I think he probably felt a little forgotten about. But what did he do in the last game? What did he do against the Packers in the last game? Hold on. What did he do? Because he had his 7 targets, 5 for 48, no touchdowns. Gronk really did damage in this game. And maybe that's who they'll turn to with no AB. Do I think Chris Godwin is a choke artist? I don't think. I think that's. I don't know. It's too.
It's
too early to say. I think they're going to need him in this game though because I think Jair Alexander is going to take Mike Evans out of the game, and so I think they're going to need their other weapons to get it done. And no one on earth can stop Devontae Adams. So I just can't imagine. And Aaron Rodgers is going to want his revenge from that awful performance he had in week.
Yeah. So the other little matchup,
week 6,
is Aaron Rodgers and Ndamukong Suh. They have a little beef.
They do. He talked about that on Pat McAfee's podcast too.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Do you think so in the podcast they were talking about oh sorry, not the podcast. I heard this so I think one of Aaron Rodgers' tackles are out for his offensive line. Maybe it's his right tackle. And what's the guy's name?
David Bakhtiari.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so he's out. So most likely the right side is gonna probably gonna need some type of help. And I think Ndamukong Suh is more so on the left side. So he might have some more licks at Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And that might be a little fun back and forth throughout that game.
It was a lot of fun in the last game, but it was also because Ndamukong Suh was kicking his ass.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
who knows if that'll be the similar now. I'm sure in Lambeau Field, Aaron Rodgers will have some talking to do in Ndamukong Suh. I can't. What do you got for a final score? What's the spread? Hold on, let's check the spread for this. All right, so yeah, as you said, DraftKings has them +3, has Bucks as 3.5-point underdogs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm taking the Packers. I think the Packers could smoke them. I don't think this is going to be a close game.
Yeah, I got them at least by a touchdown. It's probably going to be. I have it maybe 34-24 or something like that. I could see it. I could see it going to over probably.
They've hit the over. When I was positive that they weren't going to hit the over
against the Rams,
and they managed to.
Yeah. So
So
and
now
I
I'm like scared to take the under. But
yeah,
maybe, but I just, again, I look at this and I go, two pretty good defenses. And like, do I think the score is going to be 20, like in 25-25? No. I think it's probably going to be like, it sounds like 21-17, but fucking, that just doesn't look like what the NFL has been all year.
yeah, and especially like I'm sorry. So the people people are talking about how great this Bucks defense is, which they have been very good.
Mm-hmm.
But they still gave up 20 points to the Saints after fucking giving up after getting 5 total turnovers, and they also gave up 23 points to the backup quarterback of the Washington football team. So there's no fucking way Aaron Rodgers is only scoring 20 25 points. Like I definitely see Aaron Rodgers putting them 30.
They held the man to 10 points.
That was on an 88-degree day in Tampa Bay.
All right. I agree. I think the Packers, you know what? I'll say Packers 24, Bucks 14. I'll say at least it's a 10-point.
Okay. So it's just we just have a point difference in what we think each team is in.
Yeah, I just can't imagine.
But we both see them winning by 10 points.
Yeah, at least 10.
So if Tampa Bay comes back, I mean, if Tampa Bay wins, we'd be shocked pretty much.
Yeah, I just think Green Bay is going to come in there wanting revenge, and they're all motivated. And most importantly, Aaron Rodgers, healthy. Devonta Adams, healthy. Aaron Jones, healthy. Jair Alexander, healthy. Not even on the injury report, not even worrying about them. Like, I think that's a big fucking deal for that whole ball club.
Yeah.
And is it Zadarius Smith or Zaire Smith?
I think it's Zadarius.
Zadarius Smith. He's got 12.5 sacks, and they have him to do the pass rush. All of their core guys are so healthy, and I think that's very important.
What I like for the Bucks is Tom Brady being able to do like this is why I think he could Tom Brady will be able to put up some points on them. And it's not so much Tom Brady; it's just the Bucks in general. So you could run on this Packers defense, and that's one thing Tom Brady always he wants to establish the run first thing, so then he could get the play action off and
do things like that. Yeah,
exactly. And I think I could totally see him establishing the run and keeping it close at first.
Yeah,
but just but he could also have a bunch of if he starts off slow like he usually does, like he did against Washington. He didn't really do it against Washington, but against the Saints, he started out with right away with 2 3-and-outs. If he does that against the Packers, I think that's what's going to make it a long night for him, because you start out slow like that and you give Aaron Rodgers 2 straight possessions to possibly get you a touchdown, a field goal, whatever, and he doesn't turn the ball over. You're gonna be chasing him the whole night, and it's just gonna be a long night for you. So I think Brady has to start establish the run right away. They have to make sure they have the ball out of Rodgers' hands, because Brady cannot have a shootout with Rodgers right now. Like
you don't think so?
No, I don't think not at all. Like
I mean, he basically had one with Heineke, right?
Yeah, I know, but Aaron Rodgers is the MVP of the league.
Without his defense against the Saints last week, he would have had a lot of problems.
Yeah, they would have lost. They literally were trailing most of that game until all of those fucking picks. Well, it was really after Jared Cook's fumble. And they almost not scored, but they ended up scoring off of that fumble. It was from that point on everything went downhill for the Saints. And as long as the Packers don't turn the ball over, I think they're like easily gonna win this game.
I'll say final score 24-14 Packers. I think so. I think it'll be the under, but I think they'll definitely cover the spread.
I got it 34-24 Packers.
All right. So next up, we have yet another rematch. Like I said, both of these games happened already in the regular season.
Same week.
Under these words, oh shit, you're right. It is the same week. That's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's super weird.
But it is the Chiefs versus the Bills. Wasn't this one of those Tuesday night trades? This happened on like an odd day of the week, right?
I don't know. I'm
We
not
can
sure.
check that. We can check that because I'm pretty sure I have this game up. Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs. When was it? This January 24th.
No, that's this coming
Oh shit!
January 24th hasn't.
I was like, that seemed to have already happened. Monday,
Yeah.
October 19th at 5 p.m. It was one of those weird time games.
Oh yeah.
Chiefs come away with the win pretty easily.
Yeah.
It felt like a competitive game though the whole way through. Like it was close until
They went. I mean, my whole thing is, and I just think the end score always throws people off and makes people think that the game was closer than what it was. But Chiefs in this game too were up double digits.
yeah. Well, they finished the game. It was by 9, so yeah.
Okay.
It was
Yeah, but
26-17.
I'm pretty sure they were up 2 scores at some point in this game, and then and they scored towards the end
The
of it.
The Bills had the old backdoor cover.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I always try to. If I am betting on Chiefs spread, I'm betting on the other team. Cleveland, because wait, no, they did work out for me for Cleveland because they backdoor covered like they always do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it. So, and this is just a funny question. What defense do you think is the worst defense out of all the teams in the
So you asked me who the worst quarterback was. I said Brady. The worst defense
Yeah.
is probably I don't know. There's a lot of good all 4 defenses are good, but Kansas City's probably the worst of the 4.
So
Just because they don't have I mean, they just don't have the same resume as some of the other teams. But that's literally it. They have all the same studs at the right positions. They have a decent secondary.
When you say resume, what do you mean resume?
Like there's like what we were talking about with the Buccaneers, right? They shut down. They're number 1 against running backs, right? They shut down Aaron Rodgers in the game before. Like they held the MVP to 10 points. That hadn't happened. Their defense was considered the best in football for a stretch this season. The Buccaneers, I mean. Bills, same kind of thing. People.
So are we? And this is and that's the reason I question it, because I think what people. So what was so great about the Patriots when they played? To me, what was great about the Patriots was they never really took the ball away. But it was always like the bend but not break defense.
Sure.
Where maybe you allowed a lot of the yards, but you never really let up the points as much.
Yeah.
And if they did get points, it was 3 instead of touchdowns.
Yeah.
If you look at the last half of the season, the Chiefs have let up the least amount of points out of all of these teams in terms of defense.
Right.
They're looked at as the worst defense in the league, and it's just funny to me that.
Well, I didn't say they were the worst defense in the league.
No, I'm sorry, not the worst defense in the league. They looked at as the worst defense out of these 4. When I think they really like what is the thing that we say is the Chiefs' Achilles heel?
Their run defense,
right? When they went against,
that's the Achilles heel actually of all but 1 team left, which I found interesting.
Yeah.
But continue.
And you want to know what's funny? Look at what all 3 of the teams that have that Achilles heel. It's because they all rely on their quarterbacks, so that and they rely on their quarterbacks to go up, and then you're gonna have to throw against them, which they'd rather you throw against their great secondary versus their not so good front. And when we talk about Tampa Bay is relying a little bit more on their defense than their quarterback. But for the Chiefs, so they showed a stat during that game against the Cleveland Browns. They let up when they were up. When they were up in the game, they let up, I think, 6 point something yards per carry in terms of running. And then when they were tied, or no, I'm sorry, when they were 2 scores up, they let up 6 yards a carry. When they were tied or ahead by 1 score,
it was drastically lower.
Yeah, they only let up 1 yard per carry. That's why the Cleveland Browns went away from the run, and they had to make Baker throw it more. I think Baker threw it like 36 times that game, and it was because they couldn't run the ball.
Right.
And I think that's why I'm looking at it as the Chiefs don't give up points that much. Like when you really look at it, you're getting 3 points instead of 7 most of the time. And I think that's
what happened a lot in this game that we're talking about that they played against Buffalo.
Yeah. I'm just not sure. So besides the fact that I'm clearly
biased in every way, shape, or form.
Yeah, but the only way you're gonna beat this Chiefs team, or the only way you beat Patrick Mahomes, is you score points. You don't our method of what we think is how Patrick Mahomes loses games.
Yeah.
Or should lose games is you keep the ball out of his hand, and then you by running the ball, and then you just limit his possessions. If you look at the 9 times he's lost in his entire career, he's only, the teams that beat him have to score over 35 points to beat him.
This team is capable of that. Like, they can do that.
Yeah.
It's not like they haven't done that this season.
I agree. I think that they're capable of it.
Yeah.
I just don't know if you want what would you rather do? Would you rather, if you were the Bills, would you be trying to keep the ball out of Mahomes' hand, or would you just try to have a shootout with him?
So this is a great question, and the answer I think I'd normally give you is I would take the former, right? But when I think about what the Bills have done a lot this year, in big games this year, right? The Rams in Week 3, those were 2 undefeated teams going against each other, right? What was the final score of this game? 35-32. Huge scoring, high scoring game that they won, right? And it put them to 2-1. Josh Allen had 4 passing touchdowns. He had a touchdown rushing. He just exploded in that game, right?
Yeah.
Seahawks. This was a big game when it happened. 44 points, 44-34, right? Josh Allen threw it all over the place. This is the game where I freaked out here on the show the week after it happened because Pete Carroll said in the press conference, "Oh, I didn't think they would just stop running it altogether," when they had the worst pass defense of all time to that point. Of all time. And he goes, "I don't know why they just threw it on us." Idiot Pete Carroll. They went on to fix their defense, but God, that was one of the dumbest things. That was not a good look. It was one of the dumbest things I ever heard, right? Pittsburgh Steelers. This is their lowest scoring affair against a serious team. They still put up 26. They had 330 yards of total offense. Here's my point. I think they're listening to you. I think they know that they have to put a fuck ton of points up.
And Josh Allen, when asked, he said, in order to beat them, you have to put up points.
Yeah.
So, what the Bills have done in their 2 playoff games, right? They only played 2.
Yes.
They haven't ran the ball really.
No. They haven't really been able to. But continue.
Yeah. They've trusted Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And I'm just never gonna bet on Josh Allen over Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, well, that's if you do that, I'll be sure to check you into a mental hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
Shortly afterward, especially you.
And he's saying this because I'm a Chiefs fan, but I think more even if you weren't a Chiefs fan.
Oh, I think Bills Mafia would say otherwise.
Yeah, but they're psychopaths. These people
this is
tables. And if you guys want to come at me, even though you probably don't even know who the fuck I am, but fuck that. I don't care. You guys are crazy. I don't jump through tables. I just talk shit.
I don't jump through tables. Fuck you.
You fucking weirdos.
But but I definitely understand what you're saying.
And Josh Allen, he's been great this year, and he had
been great in the postseason.
Yeah, exactly. He had a great year. You got a contract, and that was awesome. But this is where your road ends. And I apologize.
It's time.
Over.
Oh, did what's his face get the mustard and shit all over him?
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
he did. Did Nick Wright got mustard all? I'll have a picture of that come up on the screen. Yep. That shit was good. I definitely think that the Bills have the formula, have the right defense, because they have Josh Norman and Tre'Davious White playing corner for them, and they are not afraid of big moments, number one, and they are experienced in these situations, especially a guy like Josh Norman, who's already been to a Super Bowl with the Panthers. He didn't win, but he's been to a Super Bowl.
DraftKings update.
Are you raising your fucking hand on your show?
This is me pointing like have something I have to say. DraftKings update. We're not doing DraftKings this week, but I would like people, if you guys listen to us weekly on DraftKings, Sammy Watkins, I'd play him. Super low owned, and I guarantee you he's giving you either 100 yards or a touchdown or two.
So, this is my last case for the Bills, by the way. This is the last thing I was going to say on the Bills. The last time the Bills were in this position was the year we were born. 1993. AFC Championship. They played the Kansas City Chiefs and Joe Montana. Do you know about Joe Montana? You know who Joe Montana is?
You talking to me?
He's on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks? Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he's alright.
There'll be a nice spinning thing above your head that says shit about him and all the Super Bowls he won. But I think this is a bad omen for Kansas City. When Andy Reid, before last year, had a terrible playoff history because of things like what he did last week with his backup quarterback. If Chad Henne had missed that pass to Tyreek Hill, you would be screaming at me about how Andy Reid should be fired today.
No, I wouldn't.
You'd be thinking about it strong. If the Browns had won that game because of that, you'd be thinking about it.
No, I would be extremely sad if the court is not the coach because of that. I would be really sad, actually.
But he takes major gambles when he coaches, and I think there's some bad.
My whole thing, it wasn't really a gamble. Like if we really analyze what that play was,
Andre Reed, so nice. Sorry.
If we really look at what that play was, no one, if you were watching it, I don't know if it was it Troy Aikman or Tony Romo? Which one was doing the broadcast? Whichever one it was, did not.
If it was CBS, it was Romo. Okay.
Yeah. So it was. I think it was. I want to say it might have been Aikman.
You're talking about this game, right?
Yeah. No. It was for. It was against Cleveland.
Oh! You're talking about last week's game. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say it was Aikman, and he was saying they're gonna hard count it, call a timeout, pick the ball. Everyone expected that, including Cleveland. No one's expecting the backup quarterback to throw the ball, for them to run a play in general, and for him to throw the ball in that situation. It was just too much of a risk. Right. But the play that they ran was like it was almost impossible. Unless you knew that they were running the play, it was almost impossible to stop Tyreek Hill from doing what he did. Like, he's just way too fast, and they literally make a living off that play. That was the same play they did to ice the game against Miami. Just a couple of weeks back, but it was obviously with Mahomes. So you have your backup quarterback running throwing a 1-yard pass to Tyreek Hill, who's wide open. Like I don't know how much of a risk that actually was, unless the team like if it would have been 3rd and 1, maybe, or like something that they were expecting. But
what did you think when he was running like this and then dove?
I was going, I was making, and I was so because I was so mad that of what happened with Mahomes, everything. So I'm just like yelling at this fucking screen, like I was just wilding.
Because you might be getting lucky with your backup.
Know this dude, and I was like, "What's this guy's name? Heineke." I'm rooting for him. Like I was just like,
Heineke Part 2 for you.
Oh my god, I wanted to buy a jersey, his $4 jersey. I wanted to buy it.
No, save your $5 bill. Fucking. Yeah. But this play that we've been talking about, you're saying that this is essentially as good as a running play.
Exactly.
It's effective as a running play. But Chad Henne could have thrown this into the fucking dirt easily. Just throwing that right into the dirt. We've seen quarterbacks do that.
Bro, but what's crazy? You wanna know what's the craziest thing? It was like God was just like, there, just shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about sometimes. You remember week 17 when I was pissed that Andy Reid didn't play his starters for at least a half, and I was like, you're not gonna have freaking Mahomes rusty coming into his first playoff game, and I was just worried about that.
Yeah, and
it turned out Heineke. He got all the snaps in week 17, so he was the most prepared for that moment because he just finished getting all the snaps. So it just worked out perfectly.
Yeah. Like what if he never got those reps? Then he might be more nervous than he might not have been ready.
Yeah, he might have not been ready for that moment or whatever. So it's just crazy, and that's why I should just shut up and just believe in Mr. Reid.
But you were right about Patrick Mahomes. He wasn't concussed.
Yeah, and we're about to win by a tutty. I got this.
Oh yeah, let's check the line for that. Yeah, so lines at again 3.5, same thing. But the over under is 54.5. I've never been so confident in an over score in my life because of all the information that you told me to start about how you need to score points to beat Pat Mahomes.
Yeah,
and how Pat Mahomes doesn't have a problem scoring points.
Exactly. I have this going probably maybe I'm gonna go 35-27.
35-27?
Yeah.
I think
obviously you know what I think.
That doesn't need to be said. That goes without saying. I think I'll take. My heart wants to take the Bills, but my brain wants to see a Packers-Chiefs Super Bowl. So, which is what I picked in my bracket. So, I'll take Chiefs to beat the Bills.
You didn't pick that in your bracket, you lying.
I did. I picked it. Oh yeah, I didn't. That's right.
Pick Ravens, you asshole.
I forgot. But at the end of the day, Packers are going to win the Super Bowl no matter who they play. So, we'll have that conversation next week. But I'm taking the Chiefs 47 to the Bills 42.
Oh my god, that would be. I'd go.
Fire! It'll be fire.
Yes,
rain, chaos.
Stressed out that whole game.
It's the picture of the. I think it's Elmo going like this and then fire around him. Like that meme. I'll pull that meme up. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's just chaos, rain, chaos. I want 100 total points scored. That'd be sick.
That'd be.
But I feel really confident in the over. Needless to say.
Yeah, I'd be. You know how stressed out I'll be fucking watching the Bills score 42 points.
Hey.
Unless we have like 47-27 and they're just coming back that way, I'll be perfectly fine. But I don't give a fuck about that. But which the Chiefs have done literally all year long. Just to let you know, if your name is associated with playoffs, the Chiefs have not seen you from the front and have only seen you from the back. That's just a fact. So take that to your fucking bank, Bill.
So we're going over on both games, right?
Yeah.
And then we're taking
both favorites.
We're taking both favorites to cover.
Yeah, that's probably.
We are the chalk. We are the children. No, I'm just kidding. Fucking. But I think it'll be fine this week. I think this is the Super Bowl
predictions last week.
This is the Super Bowl God intended. Yeah. In my opinion. When two number ones make it, that's how it works.
It's a passing of the torch. Look, Mahomes stole Aaron Rodgers' style. Clear. He's Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre having a baby.
Yeah.
We spoke about this at one point.
Yeah.
And he's just going to let him know, like, I appreciate what you've done for the game. I'm happy that you're here.
But your time is up.
Exactly. Like, you may have more MVPs, but I have more
rings. If you like it, then you should put a ring on it. Fucking. Okay. But I think Patrick Mahomes does get his opportunity to repeat. But I we'll talk about it, and I'll have my reasons ready to go for next week. But
that's fine. Yo, 24-1 in the last 25 games. Just saying.
Packers, Chiefs, Super Bowl. Take the over. They're covering the spread. They're both looking strong heading into the showcase of the best football. I don't know. I was going to say the showcase of the Immortals, and then I was like, wait, that's a fucking wrestling thing. That's what they always said for WrestleMania, the showcase of the Immortals. Yeah. But it will be that. But I just feel blessed. Like I said, in 27, I definitely said this, I'm pretty sure I said it last week, but in 2017, we had fucking 3 backup quarterbacks and Tom Brady in the championship game. And now we have the 4 most important quarterbacks of the season. Maybe you might be able to say that they're not the best 4 in the whole league, but they were definitely the 4 most important this season. Yeah. And
they're in the top 10, all of them.
I just would take Brady out and put like Watson in, and for me to say the 4 best.
Yeah. But Brady, to me, he's a top 10 quarterback this year.
Yeah, but he's definitely one of the most important players of the season, considering his move.
He might be the most important player of the season.
So there you go. It might be him and Rodgers. I would say Rodgers just because of everything he's done and the storyline with Jordan Love, that shit. But for Apex Greatness, I'm Russell Broderick. That's Dario Albuquerque, and we are saying peace.